I feel like if I'd have seen a video like this, I probably wouldn't have picked this hotel. The mattress is not even like the size of my hand. As you can see, the mattress is literally the whole size of my hand. Today we are comparing two hotels in Tokyo Bay. Tips and tricks for getting to and from the airport. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lexi, and as you can see by the title, today we are comparing two hotels in Tokyo Bay. If you're planning a trip to Tokyo Disneyland or Tokyo DisneySea, you would know that there are so many hotels to choose from. You've got Disney hotels, you've got partner hotels, and then within those branches there are so many. I recently went to Tokyo DisneySea and Disneyland, so I had to go through this research process and choose a hotel. Unfortunately for me though, I chose the wrong one, and my mum and I ended up moving hotels halfway through the trip. So we did end up staying at the Hilton and the Sheraton Grande. So I'm going to be comparing both of those hotels, giving you my honest experience at both. We're going to be covering a couple of topics like the rooms, the beds, the customer service experience, breakfast, and I guess just the hotel ambience as well. While both hotels are really nice, there's definitely a standout for me. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it for you and say that it's the Sheraton, and I guess this video is going to explain why the Sheraton, what happened at the Hilton, and yeah. To get straight into it, the first topic I want to talk about is the rooms. Both of the rooms at the Sheraton and the Hilton were really nice. They're both really spacious. They've got modern bathrooms. They both have like the fancy bidets. I can't remember if I got a room tour of the Hilton. If I do, I'll insert it here. Like you fit comfortably in them, you don't feel squished or like stuck in a small space. I did prefer the bathroom in the Sheraton. Like as you can see, you have like a whole wet room, which is really great. If you've got mobility issues, you don't have to worry about stepping into the bathtub to have a shower. If you're really tall, you would fit in it as well. I always think about that now when I'm traveling because my boyfriend's really tall. He is 6'7", but he would have fit in that bathroom easily. The main point of difference between these hotels in terms of the rooms is really the beds. The beds were a major problem for us at the Hilton. I actually talked about this in my Disneyland DisneySea vlog, so I'm going to insert that footage here and you can just hear from me about the experience while I was experiencing it. Hello guys, so it is day 2 in Tokyo today. As you can see, I am in the hotel. I did want to give an update though on like the room because I didn't really film a room tour or anything. It was because we got in so late, and then once we got in we realized that our beds are pretty much as hard as a rock. We could probably sleep on the floor and it would be about the same type of softness. When choosing which hotel to stay at, we actually picked this hotel because a lot of other hotels like the Disneyland Hotel and the Miracosta, they were known for having quite hard beds, whereas a lot of people online said that these beds were quite comfortable, but that has definitely not been our experience. When we got in last night, we decided to sort of lay our doonas down as like extra padding, but unfortunately that wasn't quite enough. So we moved all of the bedding onto one bed and Mum and I just shared, and that still was not enough padding. So yesterday morning we went to the reception to ask what they would be able to do.
Someone please help!
And they decided to put another 2 mattress toppers on each of the beds. So at this point we now have 3 mattress toppers and 2 doonas on each bed, and it's honestly still hard as a rock. It's super hard to sleep. My back is sore in the morning and my mum's back is even more sore. We went down to reception again today after breakfast and they said there's not really anything else they could do. They could add more mattress toppers, but honestly, at what point does it stop then? So we sort of said like, is there anything else that can be done? And they've decided to move our room. So we're currently staying in room 855 and I'm not sure the number that we're moving to, but we'll be moving rooms around 3 p.m. today. So I'll give you guys an update on that when we move. But our backup plan, I guess, is that if these beds are still terrible, we might try and move to the Sheraton Hotel, because again, people online say those beds are comfortable, but you know, if people think these ones are comfortable, I'm not really sure what to expect. But I didn't want to like be a downer or anything, but I do want to put this out there because if it even helps one other person decide if they should stay here or not, then I feel like that's helpful. I feel like if I'd have seen a video like this, I probably wouldn't have picked this hotel. I will turn you guys around and show you the beds now. That might help make a little bit more sense. So apologies for the beds being messy, but as you can see, our room has 1 bed here, a 2nd bed here. If I show you this one, this is with all the mattress toppers. So here's 1 layer. That is the 2nd mattress topper. That's the 3rd mattress topper. And that is your mattress. The mattress is not even like the size of my like hand. It's probably the size of my palm.
Oh my god! What is that?
You can't really like, I guess you can see that it doesn't like squish. If I hit it, my hand just like bounces right off. That is the thickness.
So, my eyes are correct.
The tag is all in Japanese, but I'm telling you that that must say firm mattress. It's ridiculous. This one is exactly the same. Like, they are just super hard. You can see that is all mattress topper, that is the mattress. And yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend if you prefer like a medium or a plush bed. The pillows as well are super thin, so they're like feather and down ones, and they squish down and they just squish right down to nothing when you're sleeping on them.
A few moments later.
Hello vlog. So a little update on our bed/hotel situation. We actually decided to take ourselves over to the Grand Sheraton and have a look at their hotel. The reception staff was super friendly. We basically explained the situation thanks to the help of Google Translate, and we asked if they had like a room that was free so we could have a look at like what the beds felt like. The receptionist was so nice and he did exactly that. We got to go into a room, sit on the bed, and instantly it just felt better. Like, there was a squish to them, they were bouncy, like there was a plush layer. Exactly what you sort of expect a hotel bed to have. So we were really happy with that. We then had a look at booking.com and found availability for those nights. We also got like breakfast included. So we just booked it on booking.com and showed it to the guy. He like processed it on his end. He actually gave us like the room keys and everything early, and then just said to check out of our other hotel and come back at like 3 o'clock because that's their official check-in. And so we were able to just do that. Between these hotels, they also offer like luggage services. So we had our big suitcases transported from the Hilton to the Sheraton. We're just waiting for them to arrive now. They should be up in our room by like 3:30. I also just want to point out that a lot of reviews said that this hotel was like dated or old or like kind of wear and tear, but so far this hotel looks amazing. Like, I did not know what all those reviews were about. This room itself looks great, and we had a look around at the shops and like the lobby area, and it looks really good. We also are going to try the breakfast tomorrow as well, so I'll give you my thoughts on all of that, but for now I will show you the beds. So as you can see, this is the bed. So they're much bigger. These are like double beds. Before we had maybe like king singles. They obviously come with more pillows as well, which is awesome. Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
So here's the mattress. I've just pulled everything up. As you can see, the mattress is literally the whole size of my hand. The other mattress, if you remember, only was like the size of my palm. This one is my entire hand. Then you have this plush layer here. You've got a mattress protector, as you should, and then we've got a sheet, 2 sheets, and a doona as well. Like, the other beds were just not it compared to this. This is so much better, honestly, what you expect when you stay at a hotel. Again, we've got more pillows, so you know, if the pillows are not right, you're going to be able to work something out with more pillows. That is a genuine comparison of the 2 beds at Hilton and Sheraton. As you can see from that footage, the beds at the Sheraton were just 10 times better. The difference was we could get up in the morning without a sore back. We felt like we could walk at Disneyland, you know, we weren't all stiff and in pain. So I definitely think it was worth moving hotels. It obviously did put us out of pocket for a little bit, but we have heard from Qantas, which was the third party we booked the Hilton hotel through, that they are going to be processing a refund for the nights that we didn't stay there. That also leads me to the next category that I want to discuss, which is the customer service at both hotels. I think you can really see the customer service of a hotel when something goes wrong. Even though the team were like helpful and they wanted to try and fix it by providing the mattress toppers, I don't think they handled it as well as they could have. So the first day that we complained, they said there was really nothing they could do except for putting the mattress toppers on them. As I said, they did do that and it did make a little bit of a difference, but we were still in pain the next day when we woke up. So the next time that we complained, you know, we said, how does it work? Like, if we were to get a refund, and we were pretty much told like, we can't give you a refund. Then the third time that we inquired, they said, you know, we can't give you a refund because you booked through a third party, so you'd have to contact them to sort out the refund. That's when they also offered to move us to an executive room to try and stop us from moving hotels. This was in the morning, and so I said, okay, can we view the room to see if the beds are any better? And I assumed that they must have all been full because they said no. They said we had to wait until 3 p.m. That would also be after checkout time. So if those beds weren't good, we were still going to be charged for staying that night, which I think was a bit sneaky. I think they were doing it on purpose. I find it a bit hard to believe that all of the executive rooms were full.
That's weird.
But I guess that could have been the case. But I feel like when you contrast that experience with us going to the Sheraton, we weren't guests there. We just rocked up, explained the situation. He had really good English, so he did understand what I was talking about, but we did also use Google Translate. And when I asked them to see one of the beds before we, you know, decided to book, because it was going to put us out of pocket, they were more than happy to take us to a room, and we got to go look at the bed, sit down, have a feel for it. And that is actually what really sold us. We could test the bed and we were happy with it. So we were like, okay, let's just move. let's not even bother seeing this executive room. Because the first two people we had spoken to had said that every single room in the hotel had the same beds. So we were a bit skeptical when this third person said,
oh yeah, we'll put you in that room because the beds are better.
Overall, I would rate the Sheraton higher for the customer service experience. I just think the people there were a lot more helpful, they were a lot more open, and yeah, the communication was really great, really easy. The next area I think it's important to talk about would be the breakfast. So at both of these hotels, you could have an included breakfast for an extra fee. When booking the Sheraton, we booked through booking.com, so there wasn't really too much of a difference in the price between a breakfast and no breakfast, so we decided to go for it. And I feel like it was the same with the Qantas booking for Hilton. It didn't make too much of a difference to the overall price to add breakfast on, and I definitely think this was worth it at both hotels. Both of them had a really nice area where you could eat. There was lots of options. You had hot food, pastries. You also had more traditional food at both. The first breakfast we had at the Sheraton was actually set up in like a conference room. That was a little bit strange, but the food was great. And then after that first breakfast, all of them were at like the cafe that's on the property. And yeah, I definitely can't complain about the food. They were both great. That had been some of the critiques I had seen online as well, that the Sheraton breakfast was way overpriced and not worth it. Obviously, I don't know what those people paid for it, but I really do think it was worth it. The food was great. I'm a really picky eater as well, so if I say that the food was good or edible and there was options, it definitely means there was lots of options. The final area I think we could compare these two hotels is with the Onsite Amenities. So both of them actually have Disney stores in their hotels. This is really similar to the Disney hotels as well. They have shops, and a lot of the merchandise is the same as what you can get at the parks. They've got lots of lollies, they have lots of the tins, pretty much the basic merch you can get at all of them. If you've been, there'll be things that you see and you see at like every shop. Well, they're the sorts of things that you have at the hotel shops. These shops are super handy, especially for larger items or items you don't want to carry around at the park. We bought some mugs here, and we also bought some of the tinned food so that, yeah, we didn't have to carry it around at the park. Both of them also had second shops that had a bit fancier of Disney items. At the Sheraton, this one had like handbags and it had like the Jim Shaw figures. Both hotels also had like a convenience store. So the one at the Hilton was a Lawson's. I'm not 100% sure what the name of the one at the Sheraton was, but they definitely had one. And it had all the same sort of stuff like noodles, snacks, band-aids, like just random things that you might have forgotten on holidays. So that is really handy to have as well. The Hilton also had like a little arcade section with like capsule toys. That was pretty cute, and we did get a couple of them before we moved. But to offset that, the Sheraton also had like a mini golf area for kids. And it had a beautiful like courtyard and backyard area that linked up to where they have the weddings. So if you're going with kids, I would definitely say that there is like entertainment at both hotels. When we were coming home from DisneySea, the Hilton also had like a place with hot food. So we stopped and got that, but it was literally $40 for microwaved food. It was the same hash browns and nuggets that they serve in the morning at breakfast. And we had like a small pizza, and all of that literally cost $40. It was way over the top. We should have gone to the Lawson's and just gotten chips or something. I will say I do recommend the room service food at the Sheraton. Pause to read. Both of the lobby areas were really nice, really tidy. You know, there was people there to assist you with whatever you needed. Both of them had a lot of check-in, check-out counters. They were clean, they were tidy, they were easily accessible, lots of signs in English, which made it super easy to navigate. And yeah, I really had no complaints about either of the lobby areas. That was another critique of the Sheraton that I had seen online, was that people said the hotel was like dated and old looking, worn down. And that definitely wasn't my experience. I found it to be really well kept. As you can see from the footage that I've shown in this video, like nothing stood out as really old or not good. So I really don't know where that rhetoric has come from. Another thing I noticed about this hotel was that there was a lot more international guests staying here. I feel like there was definitely a lot more Japanese guests at the Hilton. I don't know if that maybe has influenced why this hotel is a bit more Western. I will also say the drinks at the Tostina little cafe were amazing. Every night we would come and get a hot caramel. It's like a hot chocolate, but even better. They had all the facilities you needed here. There was an ATM machine. As you can see, there is this beautiful water fountain that is always running. I also thought it might be helpful to include in this video tips and tricks for getting to and from the airport. So originally we were flying from Sydney to Haneda Airport and arriving at 10 p.m. at night, but our flight actually got delayed and we didn't end up arriving until midnight. Because of this time, we knew that the airport limousine wouldn't be running, and that's a bus that is the most popular mode of transport between the hotels and airport. There's a lot of talk of them online, and you've probably heard of the airport limousine if you've been researching this trip. But knowing that that wasn't an option, we thought about what else we can do. Some people recommend pre-booking a taxi or, you know, using the train system, but we thought it would just be easiest to get to the airport and then get a taxi. And it turned out to be just that simple. Once you collect your luggage, you just naturally head to the exit and there's lots of signs saying taxi stand. Then there's people ushering you to a taxi. It was super easy for us. We just walked up, got in one, and we were off. The only thing was we did need to have the full address of the hotel. When we said to the driver, Hilton Tokyo Bay, it just didn't register. I think there was a bit of a language barrier, but once we were able to get the full address on our phones and give it to him, it was super easy. We were literally at our hotel in about 20 minutes, and for us it costs around 130 Aussie dollars, which for the convenience I think was super worth it. With our flight being delayed and everything, I think if we'd have had pre-booked transport, I would have been really stressed thinking about, is this person still gonna be there? How do I communicate to them that we're late and things like that? So just being able to walk up, grab a taxi and get to the hotel, I definitely think that was worth the price. And that's a price that we would pay at home for a taxi anyway. Once our trip was over and we had to get back from the Sheraton to Haneda Airport, we were going in the middle of the day, so we were able to use the airport limousine. It was super easy. We booked it through the hotel the day of. I think around 12 o'clock we booked for the 3:30 bus. You did need to have cash to pay for the bus, but there were also ATMs in the lobby. If you didn't have cash, you could get it out. They gave us a printed ticket, which was what we would give to the bus people. And we actually got on the bus from a level down from reception. So they actually took our luggage down a level, which was so nice of them, super easy, and they load it onto the bus for you. It stopped at all the other hotels as well, so we picked up from Hilton and Toy Story and the Disneyland Hotel. Then it drives straight to the airport. It took about an hour on the bus. It probably took 20 minutes on the taxi to compare the two, but the price for the bus was $13. So you really can't complain at such a cheap price. The only thing to note with the airport limousine was that it didn't go to Terminal 3, which was the terminal we needed. So we had to get off at Terminal 2 and then catch a shuttle bus to get to Terminal 3, which was fine. It was free and included, but it was a bit of a struggle having a lot of bags. So just be prepared for that. Apparently there's only 2 times throughout the whole day when the airport limousine goes to Terminal 3. There was also limited food at Terminal 3. They only pretty much had like Japanese brands. There was one store that did burgers and chips, but you didn't have any of your regular chains. Like there was no Macca's, no Starbucks, no Hungry Jack's. So again, for my picky eaters, keep that in mind. So yeah, I think that is everything I wanted to talk about the 2 hotels. Obviously, to summarize this whole video, both of the hotels are really nice, but if beds and sleep are really important to you, I would definitely recommend the Sheraton. I think all the footage from the trip really speaks for itself. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I'm no expert, but I will do my best to answer them. Before you head off, definitely leave this video a like if it was helpful to you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!